Hi, I'm Tits, and it's time for Tits Talk 2, Federal Student Loans and Bullshit Degrees. Today we're going to explore student loan forgiveness. If you haven't seen part 1, shame on you. What's wrong with you? I bet you're the kind of person who doesn't bring enough cookies for everyone else in the group either. Yeah, I know you. Okay, well fine, since you didn't check it out, I'll explain it in very simplistic terms. My idea is that financial aid awards should be tied to projected employment needs for the future. If you want a degree or a certification to become a hot yoga instructor and there aren't projected to be any jobs available, then you're going to need to go borrow the money from your Nana. Loan forgiveness doesn't return a lot of image search results, and the day is approaching when video of me will replace the slideshow. I've got a great new camera on the way, but sadly that day is not here yet. So once again, I bring you a scrolling boob banner. As I previously established, it takes about 3 years to complete a 2-year degree anymore. Students spend most of their time in college filling prerequisites and repairing damage done by their high school. Or in my case, relearning the bullshit we were told we would use every day and then never used again until college. The survey I suggested in part 1, when used with a FAFSA application, the degree interests checked off in order to qualify for aid, well, that really comes into play when combined with loan forgiveness. The first couple of years, degree selection doesn't mean a lot. Don't believe me? Ask a college freshman what their major was at the beginning of the year, and then ask that same student what their major is at the end of their sophomore year. By year 3, most students are set up to complete their bachelor's degree and are well on their way to securing a law or a medical degree in some cases. Anytime a 3rd or 4th year, in the case of a pre-med or pre-law student, applies for financial aid, they should also be given the option of applying for forgiveness. It should just come up on the FAFSA application. It should list options for federal and state agencies that are going to be in a need for people with degrees in their specialties, like VA hospitals, Native American Indian hospitals, legal aid agencies, law enforcement agencies, that kind of thing. Acceptance in a forgiveness program should depend on GPA, a professor or instructor recommendation, criminal background checks, etc. Don't get upset. GPA is already a major factor in securing and continuing to qualify for financial aid as it is. Why shouldn't it be a factor in forgiveness? Because those students would essentially have a job with a start date within 30 days of graduation. Imagine having a decent paying job before you graduate. To me, that would be awesome. If the student's pre-med, their start day would be the first day of their residency. Medical residents wouldn't enter into their forgiveness period until actually completing residency, though. Residency is the last step in getting an unencumbered medical license, after all. Residency would occur at the agency that has offered them forgiveness. For nurses, therapists, and lawyers, that start date would be the first day on the actual job. Forgiveness would also be contingent upon passing all respective board exams necessary to gaining your license to practice. For a 2-year degree or a certification in medical fields, a 1-to-1 exchange basis I think would be more than adequate. And that's a 1-to-1 forgiveness for work exchange rate. For a 4-year medical degree, that same 1-to-1 trade-off would be more than fair, but I think additional incentives to continue to advance a degree with merit promotions for degree advancements would be a nice addition. For a 6-year degree, I think 1 year of work in trade for 2 years of school would again be fair, with merit promotions based on board certifications earned while on the job. Look, I have lots and lots of thoughts on medical education and practice improvements, and we'll probably get there in a later talk. Now, merit-based promotion, working hand in hand with loan forgiveness, I think would be essential to keep recent grads working for the agencies that desperately need skilled people. Right now, medical personnel won't take a job with the VA because the pay is not very great compared to the civilian market. The patient load is really high, which again is a result of poor pay and low incentives to stay with these agencies. Promotions are hard to come by, and there's an appearance that hard work tends to get punished and incompetence tends to be awarded. Okay, yeah, that's another talk for another time. But merit, performance-based incentives would help to keep a student grad on the job beyond their obligation. To me, the combination of the ideas represented here and in Part 1 would solve a number of problems. Students would be put in a position of having to be more responsible for their educational decisions. This would lead to less unemployment of college degree holders overall. Employment shortages would be met, unemployment rates would decrease, there'd be a reduction in college loan debt, and students would actually be employable upon graduation and able to repay their loans. So really there's not much downside here. And it would open up all of those starter job markets, and we would see lower teen unemployment rates. I think overall, we would see an increase in our national bottom line. We're constantly being told that a degree is the only way to make a good living. And that's not really true if you don't mind getting dirty. Under my idea, more grads would be working and spending money. More money being spent means more structures are being built, which means more jobs are available to those folks that have chosen to take degrees that require you getting dirty. I mean, Mike Rowe really knows what he's talking about in that area. Now, obviously, my ideas could use some fine-tuning, and I totally get that my approach is extremely simplistic. Now that you've heard Part 2 of the plan, what are your thoughts overall? Have you changed your mind from Part 1? Where would you make changes? Leave your ideas and thoughts for me in the comments below. We'll come up with a new video about it. Once again, please subscribe to my channel, like my page. While you're at it, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I mean, come on, it's the best way to find out when I post something new. And don't forget, Boobs of the Week. Thanks. This is Tits. Now get the fuck out.